Kentucky. For what purpose does he seek recognition?
Move to strike the last word.
Gentleman's recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I applaud all members on this committee who have as their goal preventing conflicted investment and retirement advice. I think that's a legitimate goal. Not a single member of Congress on this committee, or hopefully in the entire House of Representatives, opposes that objective. And I think many of my colleagues on this side of the aisle who have co-sponsored the gentlelady from Missouri's legislation, the Retail Investor Protection Act, I think all of us want to get to a best interests standard, but we think that the Securities and Exchange Commission is the better regulator to achieve that goal. But I want to address the narrative that that somehow through the DOL fiduciary rule we're actually protecting investors. I think the reality is different. I think what we're protecting, maybe unwittingly so, I think the Department of Labor's complex rule is actually protecting fee-driven Wall Street firms, and it's compromising access to basic advice for retail, low-income retirees. And so it's very counterproductive. I sat down with a Main Street stockbroker in Winchester, Kentucky, in my district, and he made a powerful observation. He said, you know, I know what they're trying to do here. They're trying to make sure that there's not that investment advice is not overly expensive. And he said, but Congressman, if they think professional advice is expensive, wait until they see amateur advice, because that's what the Department of Labor's rule is going to deliver to small dollar investors. Amateur advice or no advice. And especially in stock market downturns, it's very important to have a flesh and blood advisor available to them. And what he said to me, and what many other small dollar investors in my district have told me, is that small dollar retirement accounts with very little trading in positions are simply not suited for the fee-based model. And of course, already, even before implementation of the DOL fiduciary rule, that's what's happening. These commission-based accounts are going away. These small dollar accounts are being moved into fee-based models. And the fiduciary rule is already forcing many of these retail investors, these small dollar retirees, into expensive fee-based accounts that are canceling out all of the returns on their investment. Now, how is that in the best interest of retail investors? And I agree with my friend from Maryland that we have a retirement crisis. We have a personal savings rate crisis. I agree with my friend from Maryland that the Fed is punishing savers. And that counsels in favor of the position that we're taking over here on this side of the aisle. It's all the more important that retail investors have access to personalized and cost-effective investment advice and investment opportunities. And I will just reference and bring to the attention of all members here an article in the Wall Street Journal from just a few weeks ago. And the headline of the article is this: banks rack up advisory fees as fiduciary's future hangs in the balance. And the subtitle is, Trump administration may scrap the Obama-era rule, but Wall Street already sees the benefits of recurring fees over commissions. And here's what it says: the developments are the latest sign that advice for a recurring fee is Wall Street's go-to compensation model for the future. And it goes on to say, researcher Morningstar says fee-based accounts can yield as much as 50% more revenue than commission accounts. So what is DOL doing? It's lining the pockets of Wall Street, and it's eating into the returns of retail investors. Now, I will also agree with my friend from Maryland that innovation is important. But I don't think the government's regulations should drive that innovation. I think entrepreneurship should drive innovation. And the gentleman is an entrepreneur. My friend from New Jersey is an entrepreneur. I come from a legal background. So maybe it's just a different frame of reference. But I know what a private right of action will do here as a lawyer. Innovation will be stifled by the risk of litigation. And so I would want to see innovation driven through market forces, through the needs and demands of customers and retirees and investors. But it certainly would be at risk if we put trial lawyers in charge of determining investment opportunities. And I think that's an important point. I'll yield the remainder of my time to the gentleman from New Jersey just to respond with the remaining time.